This is Group 1 presenting IT systems and organizations. I'm Gregory Coleman. There are 3 units and functions in the information system. 1, Information System Department, which holds the information system specialists who handle the technology. The first function, which is the department, they suggest new business strategies and information based on products and coordinating to develop new technology and the planned changes of the organization. The second package or unit in the function requires the system specialist, the special programmers, analysts, project leaders, information system managers, the external specialists, and others who keep the hardware and software going. And the last unit or function of the information system is the technology, which consists of hardware and software. Why is the IT system so beneficial for a company? 1, it increases efficiency and saves money. It's a source of competitive advantage, and it builds innovation within the company. The system development process exists of the external and the internal. The external factors are the environmental, the uncertainties and opportunities. The internal factors are institutional factors, values, norms, and interests, which both culminate to develop a system of adoption, utilization, and management.
Hello everyone, my name is Jakari Bass and I'll be taking over from here. Next we're going to talk about the factors of information technology and information systems. One set of factors we have are the environmental factors. These are external factors of the organization that help influence information systems, and these are things like cost of labor and resources, competitive actions, and things that are affecting everybody such as government regulations. On the bright side, these environmental factors do provide positive opportunities such as new technology, new sources of capital, money, and they help develop new processes. Next, we're going to talk about institutional factors, which are factors internal to the organization that help influence the adoption and design of these organizations. Things such as values, norms, and vital interests. For an example, top management of a corporation, usually makes decisions that benefit the whole organization, so they can exercise stronger control over inventory processes and help decide whether or not they need to implement or decrease the amount of information systems in their company. Next, we're going to talk about system types and look into the various IT systems. Here are 3 listed types of systems. 1 is the centralized systems, which systems development occur totally at the domestic home base. Duplicated systems occur where development occurs at the home base, but operations are handed over to different units in different foreign locations. And decentralized systems, where foreign unit designs operate in their own unique solutions and systems. Next, we're going to talk about some of the changes in information technology. One major change is the changes in computing technology. It's declined in centralized mainframe systems over the past couple of years because of how advanced we've gotten. The next thing we have is changes in business environments. Business structures can have more than one component. They can have complexity, formalization, and centralization, which help affect a business structure. Next, we're going to talk about organizational differences. One key area of organizational differences is centralized organizations. These are more high-structured, multi-level, centralized type structures in an organization, which help keep everything cohesive and have a system in place, kind of like a top-down control where management implements things and it trickles down to lower-level management and associates and staff. Next, for organizational differences, we have decentralized organizations. Their structure is kind of flatter in comparison to centralized organizations where they have that top-down approach. This approach is more level on the playing surface. It's less formalized, and it's more based upon the market and the consumer. It's more responsive to those who are buying the product and using it on a day-to-day basis. And it's often described as being more bottom up. So it mainly focuses on the consumers and works its way up to management. The next area we're going to talk about is distributed systems, and we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of these systems. A couple of advantages of distributed systems: the improved flexibility. Resources can be located within the organization where they'll be most effectively utilized. They can be moved as required. Things can be added and upgrade as need be, and it provides sustainability for the company and scalability. Buildings or whatever type of systems that we need can be grown and used and utilized whenever needed. Local autonomy. This allows for the domain of control to be established. This covers purchasing, IT budgets, operating priorities, information system development. Autonomy is recognition of the distributed nature of many organizational activities. Next is we have increased reliability and availability. This is a huge advantage of distributed systems. It allows for failure in a centralized system to mean total system failure, but in a distributed system, it's limited to that specific component. So it doesn't allow for one system to take over the whole system in total. Another advantage is improved performance. Increased transaction processing of volumes of data result in performance degradation. Distributed systems allow for partition services. A couple more advantages are isolation of security problems. If you just have a single system, it can allow for a lot of security breaches because everything is packed in one component, as comparison to having a distributed system where things are separated. So it allows for instance, if a security breach happens in one component, it won't affect all the other components that we have. And now I'm going to turn it over to Deborah, and she's going to talk about the disadvantages of distributed systems. Deborah.
Hello, class. My name is Deborah Broussard. A couple of disadvantages of distributed systems. It's more difficult to manage and secure centralized systems. The distributed system introduces complexity, and it requires more resources and a higher cost to run. Just to name some more, reduced reliability and availability. It requires no one vendor. It has a big picture system integrator support also, and its necessary problems often arise. Three main elements of distributed systems. The first one is processing, and the components, it's basically just the components that make up the physical system. It assumes a model for process interaction. It's a design issue. The second element is data, and it basically has structures required for data storage, organizational data model, different levels of representation, and the data can be represented as object data and associated processes. The physical part about the data is the storage and the retrievability issues. The user view is basically what each user needs to manipulate the system. The last element is presentation, and that's the way in which data is made visible to the user and interactions are handled. The user interface is the look and feel behavior of the system. Presentation management, user interface management, display services, basically the interface devices, the dialogue control, and API interface libraries. Next, I'll go over the end user development. Some types of information system can be developed by end users with little or no formal training assistance from technical specialties. This is basically just a model of the concept of end user development. You'll see here it has the traditional system life cycle. It starts at the middle senior management, it goes over to staff, and then the system management, system analyst, and then the programmer. And then here towards the bottom, we have the end user development, starting with the middle senior management and then going over to staff. And here we have the benefits and limitations. Many organizations have reported gains in application development productivity by using 4G. Cases have reached 300 to 5 to specify gathering, and all leads to a high user involvement and user satisfaction with the system. Next, I will go over user development.
Hello, everyone. And now I'll be taking over from here, managing end user development. To help organizations maximize the benefits of end user application development, management should control the development of end user application by requiring cost justification of end user IS projects and by establishing hardware, software, and quality standards for user developed applications. When end user computing first became popular, organizations used information centers to promote standards for hardware and software so that end users could not introduce many disparate and incompatible technologies into the form. Managing end user development. Information centers are special facilities housing hardware, software, and technical specialists to supply end users with tools, training, and expert advice so they can create IS application on their own or increase productivity. If a firm does not, when we talk about outsourcing, if a firm does not want to use internal resource to build or operate information system, it can hire an external organization that specializes in providing these services to do work. The process of turning over an organization's computer centers operations, telecommunication networks, or application development to external vendors is called outsourcing. As we do have T-Mobile, when you call their customer service, it goes to India where people respond to most of the customer needs. So outsourcing, they get to pay less money and everything. The application service providers are one source of outsourcing. Subscribing companies should use the software and hardware provided by the ASP as the technical platform for their system. I'll continue outsourcing from here, and it has become popular because some organizations perceive it as more cost effective than maintaining their own computer center or information systems staff. The provider of the outsourcing benefits from economies of scale and is likely to charge competitive prices from information system services. It allows a company with fluctuating needs for computer processing to pay for only what it uses rather than to build its own computer center, which will be underutilized when there is no peak load. Not all organizations benefit from outsourcing. Many firms underestimate cost of identifying and evaluating vendors. And if the firm lacks an expertise to negotiate a sound contract and dependency on a vendor could result in high cost or low cost. Thank you, everyone. And this is group one, and this is what we have presented. I think well, what we give into the class should be effective and good enough. Our first group couldn't hit up to what we expected, but I think it is up to the maximized point. And with regards to everybody in class, we thank you very much for watching our video. We appreciate you.
Thank you.